Hello students, how are you? Welcome to the lecture 3 session on LR parsers. In the last lecture we discussed about the construction of SLR parser. Today we will discuss about the construction of CLR parser. But before moving on, I will take up one example on SLR parsing table. I will not discuss about how it is constructed once again because we have already discussed in the last lecture. We will just see the final table of this, and from there we will try to conclude one important thing. So this is the example for you. Construct a SLR or LR0 parsing table for the following grammar. Try to do this at home and try to get this final table, which is right now seen on your screen. So if you observe in this particular example, what we find is that after constructing this table, we are observing that in a particular cell we are having two entries, R1, R3 in the I5 row. Similarly in I7 row also we have got two entries, R2 or R5. Now when there are more than one entries in a particular cell, then it is called as conflict. The kind of conflict that we are having in this particular example is reduce conflict, because two reduce operations are performed in the same cell. Now when we have this conflict, then the given grammar is not called as SLR grammar or LR0 grammar, that we can see over here in this particular right hand side. It is written from table there occurs reduce conflict, so the given grammar is not LR0. So whenever there are more than one entry in a particular cell, then it is the case of conflict, and we conclude that the given grammar is not LR0 or LR1, whatever it is. We will see to it. Okay. Now we will take up this canonical LR parser, also called as CLR parser. We have three categories of parsers: SLR, CLR and LALR. So this is the second category. SLR we have already done. Now when we talk about this particular category, the CLR, canonical parser, what we do in this, we take up, as you can see in point number 2, we define CLR parser to accommodate extra information in the form of a terminal symbol as a second component. This is very important, as a second component in each item of state. I will see in point number 3 that A to alpha dot beta, this we are aware of, this we did in the last lecture. A to alpha dot beta, this is of the form LR0 item. Now when we add that extra component, and that extra component is nothing but a terminal symbol, okay, then we form a new item called as LR1 item. Okay. Why 1 is said? Because we are adding one component. So 1 stands for the length of the component that is added. If we are adding two components, it will be LR2 and so on. Okay. So this is called as LR1 item. So then another name for CLR parser can be LR1 parsers also. And 1 refers to the length of the second component, and this is called as the look ahead of the item. Okay. We are aware about the look ahead symbol. Okay. So now when we take this A to alpha dot beta A to alpha dot beta A, now in this case, if this beta is epsilon, that means beta is not present, it is null, then the next input symbol, then the reduction is applied using the next input symbol, that is A. We reduce it based on the A. But if beta is not equal to epsilon, then this look ahead, this small a has got no effect. That we can see in subpoint number 1 and subpoint 2. Okay. And also from point number 3 we can observe that the look ahead symbol is used in a reduce operation only. Majorly there are two operations, shift and reduce in the parsing. So reduce operation is done only using the look ahead symbol is used in reduce operation only. Okay. Now how do we construct the sets of LR1 items rather? We have this algorithm. So as we did in SLR parser, firstly we have to augment the grammar. If the given grammar G has start symbol S, then we take a new start symbol S dash and we point to S, so we get an augmented grammar called as Z dash. Now when we get this, we take this production, and what we do, we take an initial item S dash to dot S. Also we take a look ahead symbol as dollar, and we try to find the closure of this. This is our second step. Okay, this item, whatever closure we will obtain, sorry I have not written closure of this, whatever closure we will obtain, we will place it in C. Now how the closure is obtained, that we can see in the algorithm. For each set of items in C and each grammar symbol X, each set of items, whatever set of items we are considering, and each grammar symbol X, if goto of I comma X is not equal to 5, that means we are getting a new item set, then and that new item is not available in C and goto of IX is not in C, then we have to include it in C. The C will be updated by whatever we had in C union, and then this new item set. New item set is obtained by goto of I comma X. This is repeated until no more new sets of items is generated. Okay. So this is how we perform the algorithm. We do the construction of sets of LR1 items. So majorly we have to do two things. One is to find the closure and another is to find the goto. Now here there is a bit difference than the closure function that we did in SLR parser. Objective and idea is same, but because of the second component that is present in LR1 item, that look ahead symbol, there is a bit difference. How do we do? We take an item of this form, A to alpha dot B beta, having the component as A. For this item in capital I, this is in capital I. What we do, after dot we observe that there is a non-terminal. So if it is a non-terminal and if it has a production of the form B to gamma, so what we have to do, we have to take first of what? First of this beta A in that item set, first of beta A. Okay, and if you get anything, then you will get the terminal. Okay, answer will be terminal. That terminal will be represented by, let's say, small b. Okay, each terminal will be represented by small b. Then you have to add item b to dot gamma comma b in your item set I. That means you can write I as I union b to dot gamma comma b. Okay, so this is how closure is obtained, and we have to, as you can see in point number 2, we have to repeat this step number 1 until no more new items can be added to I. So till you are getting new items, you will be continuing to add this in I. Okay. Similarly, goto will also be performed. The goto is also very simple. We will take let's say the item A to alpha dot x beta comma A, and this item is in I. Okay. How the goto is performed? First, what we have to do, we have to change the position of dot, which was currently it was placed at the left of x. Now it will be placed at the right of x, alpha x dot beta comma a. Okay, and then what you have to do, now this is an item in J, then you have to find closure of J. Okay, so this will give you the go-to function. So in simple terms, if I say if you have this item a to alpha dot x beta comma a in I, the first thing that you have to do, you have to make an item of j. How do you make an item of j? You just change the position of dot from the left of x, you move it to the right of x. That means it becomes a to alpha x dot beta comma a, and then you take closure of this particular item depending upon the value of beta. If beta is non-terminal, then you can proceed, otherwise you cannot proceed. Because in the definition of closure, as you can see in the previous slide, in the definition of closure, you need to have B. After dot, you have got a non-terminal, and you have to have each rule B to gamma. So until unless you have a non-terminal, you cannot perform closure. Okay, so we are clear with closure and go-to function. Now we take up one example and we try to construct the LR1 set of items for this grammar. As you can see in this grammar, we have got three productions. First one is S to CC, both the C are capital. Second one is C to small c capital C, and third one is C to D. We are supposed to construct LR1 set of items for this grammar. Now see, the first thing that we have to do is to create an augmented grammar for this. What we are doing, we are introducing one new production, S dash to S. Okay, S dash is the start symbol for this particular grammar, G dash, which is pointing to the start symbol of the given grammar, that is S. Okay, now we have to take the initial item. The initial item will be, we have to take this start production, S dash to S. Initial item will be S dash to dot S, and you have to take dollar. This was the, we have to find closure of this as per the algorithm. Okay, now how do we find the closure of this? We will compare this S dash to dot S comma dollar with the production A to, with the item, with A to alpha dot B beta comma A. Now on comparison, we observe that both alpha and beta are null, that is epsilon. Okay, capital B is equivalent to S, because after dot we have capital B in this, and after dot we have got capital S over here, and after comma you have got dollar over here, after comma you have got A over here. So A is equal to dollar. So we have got only two values, capital B and small a. Now we have to find the closure of this. So how you are finding the closure of this? We have to compute first of, just a minute, we have to compute first of beta A. Now in our case, beta is null and A is dollar. We have to find first of dollar. So what you get answer is dollar. So this is since this is the only item terminal, so this will become as B. So B is equal to dollar. Okay. So what you have to do, you have to include productions of the form B to gamma. Now in our case, B is what? S. The S2, the production that we have is S2 CC in our example. So what we have to do, we have to include item of the form B2 dot gamma. We do S2 dot CC comma B. B in our case is dollar, as you can see over here, B in our case is dollar. So we have to include this production item S2 dot CC comma dollar. Okay, as you can see over here in the next slide. This S2 dot CC comma dollar. Now after inclusion of this particular item, what we do, we again compare it with A to alpha dot B beta comma dollar. Why? Because we have to repeat this step till we do not get any new items. Now on comparison of this, we find alpha as null, B as C, beta is also capital C, and A is equal to dollar. Sorry, this is not dollar, this is A. Okay, so we have to compare it with this. So what do we find? What we have to compute first? First of beta A. When we compute first of beta A, what do we get? First of C dollar. C is capital C. Now when we do this first of C dollar, so what we actually get? First of C dollar when we do, that means we try to find first of C. Now given to us the production is C to C, C or D. From here what we get first of C is, since there are terminals in the first place on the right hand side, the first of C will give us C and D. As you can see, there are terminals C and D. So each of them, C and D, will act as B and B. Okay, small b and b. Now since capital B is C in our case. Okay, we have to include all the productions of the form B to gamma. So there are two productions given to us from C, C to CC and C to D. What do we have to do? We have to include item of the form B to dot gamma as per the definition. So what I am doing, C2 dot CC and C2 dot D. I have included comma B. B in our case was both C as well as D. So this is written like this, C or D, C or D. So these two items are also included. Okay. So as you can see over here, so these two items are also included, as you can see over here, C2 dot C, C and C2 dot D, comma C or D. Clear? So if I comprise it together, we can see that we get the initial set of items, I0. I0 is what? The very first one that we took, S dash to dot S comma dollar. Then from S we had S2 dot CC comma dollar, and from C we had C2 dot C, C comma C by D, and similarly C2 dot D comma C by D. So there are 4 items altogether for I0. So apart from these, there are no more new items that can be added to I0. Now remember these items. Now from I0 we will perform go to operation to get the new item sets. Okay, so this is one item set. Now how do we perform this? We have to use that go to algorithm. Now see, you have got four new item sets generated. We will see the first one over here. What is the first one? First one is S dash 2 dot S comma dollar. Okay, so what we will do, this is an item in I. The item in J we have to find first. So what we have to do, S dash to S, we have to change the position of dot from left to right and comma dollar. Now this is an item in J. We have to find closure of this. Now to find closure of this, after dot there has to be a non-terminal. Otherwise you cannot find the closure. Okay. So here we find that after dot there is nothing, no non-terminal or something. It is null. So this is a part of complete item. So only this item will be included in J, and this will be the only closure. So this is a new item set called as I1, which we can observe in the next slide. So this is the item 1 I1 S dash to S dot comma dollar. Now in I0 we had the second item as S2 dot C comma dollar. Now this is an item in I. The first item in J will be S2. We have to change the position of dot. It becomes C to C dot C comma dollar. Dot will move to the right of C. Now this is an item in J. We have to find closure of this. The closure of this we have to compare it with A2 alpha dot B beta comma A. Now in our case B is capital C, beta is null, and A is dollar. The first of beta A will be, since beta is null, the first of beta A will be first of dollar. So you get answer as dollar. So what we have to do? We have to include production of the form B2 dot gamma, and in our case B is C. So all the productions originating from C that we have to see. So what are the productions originating from C? Productions originating from C are C to C and C to D. It has to be of the form B2 dot gamma, so I am placing dot on the left hand side, and comma B. The items should be included in the form B2 dot gamma comma B. B in our case is only dollar, so I am including dollar. So there are three items. These are two items, and one is S2 C dot C comma dollar. This was part of J. So these are the three items that we included in this particular item set, and we will name this as I2. That you can see over here in this particular example, I2. Okay. Now the third production in I0, third item or production in I0 was C2 dot C comma C by D. C by D. So if I use the same definition, first of all what we have to do, we have to find J of this. So it becomes dot will move to the right of C, the small c dot capital C comma C by D. So if I compare it with A2 alpha dot B beta comma A, so in our case capital B is capital C, beta is null, and A is C by D. The first of beta A will give us only C by D, that is we get CD. So this is small b for us. Okay, we have to include production of the form B2 dot gamma comma B. So on comparison, if I do, I have to take all those productions which are originating from C. There are two productions originating from C, C to CC and C to D. So I have to make it dot gamma form. I am making it dot to CC, and B in our case is CD. So C by D and C by D. So there are three productions again. This one is the first one, C to C dot C comma C by D. Then you have C2 dot CC comma C by D, C2 dot D comma C by D. This is I3 for us. So that you can see in this particular example over here. You can see there are three items in I3. One more item was there in I0, that was C2 dot D comma C by D. This was the last one. If I take J of this, I get C to D dot C by D. Okay. Since this is the complete item, so this will be the only item that will be included, and since this is different, so we get it as I4, which you can see over here in the diagram. Okay. Now all these 4 items are generated from I0. These 4 items are generated from I0. Similarly, items can be generated from I1, I2, I3 and I4 using the goTo function. This we can see in the next diagram, and it has been shown in the form of a transition diagram. Now just remember, from I0 we generated 4 new items. Now when we took the first particular item from I0, so we performed goTo of I0 comma S. Why? Because after dot, whatever is there, that will be considered as the symbol for movement. Okay, so we got I1 from there, and that is what is shown over here in the diagram. We got S dash to, just a minute, S dash to dot S comma dollar, sorry, S dash to S dot, this dot will be moved this side. Okay, repeating it once again. So we get we took the first item S dash to S dot, S dash to dot S comma dollar from I0, and we performed actually goTo of I0 comma S. Why? Because after dot, this is the symbol that was available in the item. After dot there was S. Okay, so that is why we can see the movement shown over here in the form of S. Similarly, when we took the second item in the item set, S2 dot CC, the after dot there was capital C, so we got I2 from there, goTo of I0 comma C, goTo of I0 comma C. Similarly, we got the third one. In the third, we after dot there was a small c, we considered this particular item from I0. So after dot there was small c, so movement is for small c. And similarly, the last item was C2 dot D, so we get this particular movement as I4, I4 C2 D dot comma C by D. So this we have already computed. Now we have to compute further from I1, I2, I3 and I4. Now see, since I1 is complete, that means after dot there is nothing, so no more item sets will be generated from this. Now from I2, I2 has got the first item as S2 C dot C comma dollar. Now what do we have to do? We have to perform goTo. The very first thing that we will do is we will make a J out of this. That means we will change the position of dot from left to right of C. We get CC dot comma dollar. Since this is a complete item, so this will be the only item that will be generated from this particular. So we get a new item set called as I5, which I am circling over here. We are getting this. Okay. Now, considering the second one, considering the second item in I2, we have C2 dot C, small c, capital C, comma dollar. So I will make J out of this. So I get C2 C dot C, position of dot is changed from left to right of small c, comma dollar. Now on comparing with what? A2, now I have to find closure of this. Okay, this is J, I have to find closure of this. For that, what we have to do? We have to compare it with A2 alpha dot B beta comma A. So in our case, beta is null, A is dollar. The first of beta A will be first of dollar. The first of dollar will give us dollar. So this is small b for us. Okay. Now what kind of movement we have to do? We have to include items of the form B2 dot gamma comma B. Now in our case, capital B is capital C. The C2, these are the two productions, C2CC and C2D. I have to include it dot gamma, and B in our case was dollar. Okay, and the production that we started with was C2 C dot C comma dollar. This was the J1. Okay, so these are the three items that are included in the new item set. Now you can argue with me कि sir, we already have these items C2 C dot C, C2 dot CC and C2 dot D already there in I3. But observe the second component. Here we have dollar, and in I3 we have C by D. So that is why this particular item set is new. Based on this look ahead symbol only, the items are segregated or differentiated. So this will be treated as I6, which we can see in the diagram over here. This is called as I6. Okay. Now, one more item we have in I2 is C2 dot D. Okay, comma dollar. So we have to find go-to of this. What we will do? We will first find J of this. We will move the position of dot from left to right of D. C2 D dot comma dollar. Since this is a complete item, so this will be the only item that will be included in the new item set. So this is called as I7 in our case, which you can see over here in the diagram. You can see the movement, it is off from D. Okay, C2 D dot comma dollar. Now see, now I take the item from I3, the first item, that is C2 C dot capital C comma C by D. I have to find go-to of this. What I will do? We will first find J of this, the C2 C dot comma C by D. Since this is a complete item, so this will be the only item that we can observe over here in the form of I8. Okay. Now, taking up the second item in I3, we have got C2 dot CC comma C by D. Now, if I do J on this, I get C2 C dot C comma C by D. So this will be the item included in new item set. Okay. Now I have to find closure of this. To find the closure of this, I have to do the comparison with A2 alpha dot B beta comma A. What do we observe? Beta is null and A is C by D. The first of beta A will give us C by D. First of beta A will give us C by D. So for each C and D, that means it is B, it is B. Okay. So what kind of productions we will include? We will include productions of the form B2 dot gamma comma B. Since there are two productions originating from C, we have C2 CC C2 D. Dot is placed and B in our case this time is C or D. And the one which we started with was, the first one that we included in J was C2 C dot C comma C by D. Now if you observe, the thing that you have obtained is same as I3 set. So that is why this time the movement that is shown is, since you are getting the old item set, so the movement is just simply circling or reproducing from I3 to I3. As you can see, I have circled C. Now I take the last item set C2 dot D comma C by D in I3. I have to find go-to of this. What I will do? C2 D dot comma C by D. Since this is the complete item, so no more new item sets can be generated. Now if you observe, this is already available as I4. So the movement is done over here and we point it to the I4 item set. So whenever we are getting old item set, we are pointing to it. Okay, from the old, we are pointing to the old item set. Whenever we are getting any new item set, then only we are creating that, otherwise we are just pointing to the old item set. So similarly you can find out others also and try to complete this transition diagram and then match it with this one. So I hope it was easier for you to understand. In the next lecture we will try to construct the CLR parsing table. So we will continue with this example in the next lecture, next session. So thank you for now. Thank you everyone.